Right, my computer seems to have froze. I'll be back in a minute. This is weird. All right, there we go. Fucking hell. At least I froze with not too bad of a facial expression. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? I know it sounds a bit weird that I blame everything on Susan rather than myself, but it's literally like you only have to press 4 buttons to get StreamYard to work. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that I'm being maliciously targeted by the shitbags that have been spying on our every fucking deed for the last 10 years. Well, longer than that, innit? Twitch is all right. Yeah, that's weird. Professor Andy, what an amateur! Fucking hell, oh yeah, yeah. Like bootnecks, we get classically trained in broadcasting. Yeah, the first 32 weeks of your training is how to stab people in the face, and then after that, you spend 6 months learning how to fucking edit videos and deliver the news. I am an amateur. Yeah, is that not obvious? I don't even wear a suit. Of course, I'm a fucking amateur. That's not an insult. I am an amateur. Yes. Isn't that what YouTube's all about, being an amateur? Anyway, right, I need to find some news first. Although, hey, now seeing as we're here, let's have a look at Twitter, shall we? Look at this one. This made me laugh. This story about Brianna Wu. Not Brianna Wu, Michelle Wu. Brianna Wu's another fucking lunatic. It said a protester thought it was heckling Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, but it wasn't her. I fucking pissed myself when I read that. Can you remember that? I know there's a stereotype that people think Asians look alike, but that's brilliant, that, isn't it? Imagine if you're like a reporter and you were in a press conference. I know it was a protester, but same difference. You know, heckling the mayor, and you're like, this is unacceptable, mayor. They're like, no, it's the other Asian woman. That's good. Also, is it really racist when you just point out that, you know, there is more diversity among Europeans? You know, you can get blondes and gingers and blue hair and blue eyes and green eyes and brown eyes. Like, there is a bit more diversity. It's not your fault, is it, if you fuck it up a bit? It doesn't mean you're hateful. You just could have quite poor eyesight. It's like I've talked about before, you know, nowadays they call everything racist. And really, 9 out of 10 things that they call racist aren't actually racist. Like, I've talked about Boris Johnson when he keeps getting excoriated for his letterbox comment. That's observational humour. Racism is dictionary defined as prejudice against a group because they're a different race. And doing something like a mistaken identity, it's not racism, is it? Doesn't mean you think anything about them as a group or you hate them as a group. It's mistaken identity. Exactly the same thing happens if it's the same race. Like if you see my particularly handsome brother and you think it's me from a distance and you shout, "Oi, Bootneck," and he goes, "Fuck off, I'm his brother," you're not being racist. Are you? It's a really fucking stupid thing. Yeah, it's not. If you call someone Chinese, is it racist? No, it's not. Mistaken identity is not racist. Observational humour is not racist. 9 out of 10 things that they call racist nowadays aren't racist. But racist is you judge and have distaste for people based off what they look like. You make assumptions about them based off what they look like. If you say, I think I used the point when I made a video about Boris Johnson's letterbox comments. If you see a woman in a green puffer jacket with a green hat on and you say, "You look like a fucking Christmas tree," it doesn't mean you hate whatever race the woman happens to be or Christmas trees. It's observational humour. In no way, let me turn my right on a bit, it's annoying me. In no way can that be construed as racist. It's a quip based off some observational humour. And in the same way, it's a case of mistaken identity. The person who said it might really, really love Asian people. Might think they're better than white people. Might think, "Oh, no, you know, in my life, all the people I've interacted with who've been dead nice to me have been Asian." That doesn't say anything about them. It's just a case of mistaken identity. It's calling everything racist, cheapens the word. And I know that the comment's been made many times. But it's true, isn't it? It's if you cheapen something and throw it. You know what I'm noticing, because I'm on camera now, I really need to pluck my eyebrows. I know that's something that men don't do, so that's probably why I've got such big bushy ones. But fucking all over the place, I look like a fucking old wizard. Maybe I'll have to get Mrs. Taylor to pluck them for me, because that way I can avoid it, right? And then I don't need to do any grooming myself, but I can still be groomed and then not be accused of being a practicing homosexual, because that happens quite a lot on this channel. Dave Parker's in. All right, Dave. Oh, that reminds me. Dave's reminded me. Dave won my last competition. And I keep meaning to sit down and get my pens out and actually draw something. But Dave, tell them how good it was. He said he was going to send me a photograph of it when it got nicely framed, but he didn't. And then when he did send me one photo, it looked like it had been taken with a fucking Game Boy camera. So I can't use it for promotion. I'm looking good, Boo. Oh, thanks very much, Kate. You're biased, aren't you? A long-time supporter of this channel is going to be biased. We need a left winger to tell me I look good, right? We need Owen Jones to try and bum me. Owen. I'm kidding. Again, I've been accused by more than one of you for being a practicing homosexual. I'm not going to make any more gay jokes. I don't want Owen Jones to come around my house, excite me by showing me a bizarre selection of warped left-wing pornography, and then masturbate me a little bit and then enter me. I definitely don't want that to happen, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Oh, there you go. Fantastic prize. Picking up frame picture next Wednesday. Game Boy ready. Yeah, fucking gay. Honestly, I'll have to I'll dig the photo out and share that with the group, because it looked like fucking Stevie Wonder took the picture with a fucking he did it as via the medium of Etch-a-Sketch. He sat there and tried to do a rendition, even though A, he's blind, and B, it's a fucking Etch-a-Sketch. And I'll tell you what, I'm somewhat artistically minded, as you have all noticed. Even I can't use an Etch-a-Sketch. How hard is it to draw anything with an Etch-a-Sketch? I can't believe it was ever a top-selling toy, because every kid who ever sat there and tried to draw anything with one realised after 5 minutes that it was a piece of fucking shit. All you could draw was squares with snail trails between them. It was just a fucking shit idea for a toy. Although it wasn't, was it? Because they sold about 20 million of them. So what do I know? The volume's in and out. All right, let me boot up Logitech G Hub and see if that fixes it. If this crashes my computer, because that's what happened last time. I don't think it likes doing two things at once, a computer. If you're already using the microphone and you boot up the software to try and make changes to it, it mind fucks the PC. So yeah, nah, it's not working. It's just constantly, that loading thing over and over and over and over and over. Ah, well, if it's shit, I'll have to restart my PC. So yeah, give me a shout if it's shocking. Sound is dodgy, yeah? That's fucking weird. I can restart it, but then I'm going to leave you in the shit for a bit. If it is shocking, I'll just restart it. My computer wasn't made in China, but I made it myself. So again, being as I pick up all of these skills by watching YouTube videos, yeah, I'm an amateur. Sounds like I'm using my earphone mic. That's fucking weird. I was using my headset earlier, so might be that. All right, since I'm getting a lot of complaints, I'll do it. I'll fucking come back. Give me hopefully about 60 seconds, but we'll see. One moment. There we go. All right, that took ages. Shit in it. Can't be helped. There's something on here called G-Hub that regulates my microphone. It appears to have crashed. It said it was downloading an update this morning. And obviously this happens, doesn't it? The download update and everything goes Pete Tong. This is why Apple's popular, right? Because Apple, everything talks to each other seamlessly. When you've got a fucking PC and you've got a motherboard by Asus and a chip by AMD and a fucking graphics card by Nvidia, everything goes tits up. So that I can only assume I'll have to wait until tomorrow to play with it. If the sound's on, and I'm hoping it is, it's basically just bog standard microphone software, like whatever it is when you plug the fucking thing in. So hopefully it does all right. I'm going to do 10 minutes of overtime. All right, yeah, fair enough. I'll hold my hands up. To be honest, though, I've probably done this about 100 times. So I'm allowed a couple of fuck ups, aren't I? Must have done it about 100 times now, this. 4 days a week for a couple of years, maybe. Anyway, so we put Twitter back on. Where's that gone? Share, here we go. Right. Plenty of things on here we can talk about, seeing as I've bumbled into it and haven't really done the news. Yeah, I was talking about race. The dictionary definition of the word racism needs to be applied again because we keep talking things that aren't fucking racist. Racist. Okay, Blue Van Man can hear me, and if you can't, start off, it's your end. There we go. We'll take that as a Blue Van Man's about my age and probably about as tech savvy. So if he can hear it, I'm assuming it's fine, and everybody else can fuck off. Kempo, critical of blacks, their actions, opinions, or culture is called racism. Example: berating a footballer for kicking his cat. Yeah, that's well, see, that's understandable, right? Because obviously everybody wants the easiest way out. Humans are like water, right? We want the path of least resistance. And if you can quickly fall back on, it's because you're racist, instead of looking at yourself and going, maybe I need to change, you can see why it's so appealing to people. That's fucking ridiculous, but it's understandable. I don't think it's something that we need to condemn an entire group of people for, because, and that's the point that everybody makes, right? Who's a normal person, is that you don't really see color because you were raised to be that way, certainly in the 80s and the 90s. So obviously, this is why you get black conservatives like Zuby and Candace Owens. Well, I mean, there's no point even name checking them. There's fucking millions of people that happen to be black that are conservatives. Trump had a party for black conservatives. There was literally thousands of them there. So it's a bollocks argument. But weak people will always look for the path of least resistance. So if you're a weak woman and something happens, you'll say, oh, it's because I'm a woman. If you're a weak Asian or black person, you'll say, oh, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm Asian, it's racism. When, you know, not everyone who looks like you will use that argument. A lot of them, conservative people, again, it really goes bone deep, your ideology, because it affects how you approach things in life. Typically, a conservative person, because think about it, Jordan Peterson appeals to conservative people. What does he say about problems in your life? Typically, a conservative person will look inward whenever there's a problem. I certainly always do that. I know, you know, from talking about things with my wife, when everything's gone wrong in my life, which isn't very often, but sometimes I have been a victim of bad luck. And even then, I still blame myself. Ultimately, they say you make your own luck. Maybe it's another part of being a bootneck that they instilled in me, because they always say you make your own luck. Don't make excuses. You make your own luck. Not always true, right? When I was in Baghdad, a load of Gurkhas got killed because they were unlucky enough. And they were fucking unlucky because we got mortared or suffered from rocket attacks. It's IDF, indirect fire. Probably 500 times while I was out there. And 99% of them don't land anywhere near anyone because their accuracy is fucking woeful. And they just, you know, fire and forget. One time, one landed smack bang in the middle of a tent full of them. Killed like 18 blokes or something. It's when I was in Baghdad, smack bang in the middle of the tent. That's bad luck. Military guys love saying, oh, you make your own luck. You don't. Not with modern technology. You might have done 400 years ago, when the more time you spent on the range and training with sword and shield or whatever your weapon of choice was, the better you were. Now, you can be you can be unlucky. Certainly, same with if you like roll your vehicle over a fucking an IED or an anti-tank mine. Killed 2 of my oppos when I was in Afghanistan. Dave Marsh and Chippy Thornton. Both got killed when we were in Kajaki. Just bad luck. You can take all the precautions in the world. They used to tell us, oh, make sure you don't set patterns. Make sure you don't set patterns. And there's fucking one way out and one way in. You fucking military base you're in a fob and they go, oh, remember not to set pattern, lads. Oh, by the way, here's your patrol schedule. We have to do at least fucking 6 patrols this week. And there's 1 entrance and 1 fucking exit. So, yeah, you don't make your own luck. That's bollocks. But me being a person I am, sometimes there's been bad luck. And I've said, yeah, but I could have done more. I could have thought of other eventualities. I could have sat down and thought, what can possibly go wrong? And it's still my fault that I never foresaw the very, very unlikely thing that I didn't prepare for. That's the type of attitude I have. Conservative people look inward and say, what changes can I make about myself to make my life better, my situation better? What more can I do? It's like Boxer in Animal Farm. Poor old Boxer just keeps working harder, working more and more. This is what conservative people are like. The government, it's what I do. They take the piss out of me and they tax me more and they waste more of my money and they put gas prices up and they put food prices up and they put inflation up, and I'm still just going, well, all right, I'll just save more money. I'll save more money. I'll work hard. I'll do more hours. I mean, this is another reason why I hate the fucking scum, the communists that just keep taking and they contribute nothing. They contribute nothing. These politicians and talking heads, Guardian reading cunts, they contribute nothing. They don't work hard. The critics. It's not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong man stumbles. I'm sure educated ones amongst you know that fantastic speech by Teddy. But that's the way I approach my life. So it's inherent in conservative people to look inward and blame yourself. And these people just seeking out the easiest way, the easiest avenue for them to escape. All of the identity politics stuff is, if you're black, Asian, gay, trans, woman. I mean, think about it. This is why I keep ranting about it. It's so dull and cliched and boring that it's not even something interesting to talk about anymore. Like, it's clumsily rebranded communism. And it's not even clever or subtle. So this is why I've got scorn for them. It's not clever or subtle. I mean, I can sum up, right? Again, clever people have wrote books about this. I can sum up wokeism in 30 seconds, right? Let's do it. Commies realised that the commie ideology always fails because whenever the workers get a promotion or a mortgage or a nice fucking car or get in any way rewarded for their efforts at work, they all turn into capitalists. They all go, actually, this is all right, this. Yeah? Because it's a meritocracy. So when they realised that all of the proletariat started turning into capitalists, they went, this isn't going to work. So what can we do? Oh, I know. We can clumsily rebrand it and we'll create this thing called intersectionality and we'll tell everybody. So instead of doing it, the workers versus the bosses, it's going to be the marginalised, which is fucking every cunt, women, gays, trans, LGBTQ+, black, Asian, people of colour, so anything you want, a white person with a slight tan, women, dwarves, you could go all day. Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, Jews, fucking everything. And they made it as wide as they possibly could, because then they went, there we go, there's your proletariat right there. There we go. Now we'll overthrow the bosses. And the bosses, apparently the straight white men, like Oprah Winfrey owns fuck all. There it is in a minute. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, all of them, Kate, all of them. Gnomes, pixies, leprechauns, dwarves, midgets, fucking the lot. And then this is why it's clumsily rebranded. It's unoriginal. It's not fucking funny. It's shit. It's communism. It's boring as fuck. I'm sick of talking about it, but they make me, because I'm trying to stop the world from slipping into an abyss, which is what happens every time communists take over. They disenfranchise everybody, and nobody wants to work, and everybody hates each other. And then you have to steal people's shit, which is what they're still trying to do. It's the same old shit. It's the same as what they did to the kulaks, is what they're doing now with anybody that's not a communist. That's the line in the sand now. It's not whether you're black or Asian or gay. They know that. It's if you're communist or not. And if you're not, they take your shit. Jesus. Anyway, boring as. Sick of it. Ralph Crayoyel on Twitter. Not Twitter. Twitch. Everybody who's watching on Twitch. Not many in there anymore. Oh, yeah. So what was I saying? Honestly, I've got a day off tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to sit down. I'll draw something. I haven't thought about what it's going to be yet. I'll do a bit of art. Or I'll dig out some channel art. At some point tomorrow, I'll do art. And I'll give some away on, what day is it? It's Wednesday? Thursday? All right, Friday. Friday, I'll draw it. Anybody who's given me any fucking money in the last 90 days, I'll put your name in the hat and I'll draw it on Friday, right? So this is me announcing it. I'll draw it on Friday. So yes, thank you to everybody who's got me pissed in the last fucking 3 months. Not many people, I have to say, because obviously I don't fucking flag wave about the channel very often and I don't whinge about money. But yeah, whoever's in there, I'll do art. Yeah, there you go. But exactly, I'll do art. And yeah, I'll give a piece away and you can do what Dave did and take a photograph of it with a potato and then send me it and say, oh, that's good. Or not, or send me it and say, this is shit. Bootneck twatting a commie. Yeah, okay, I could probably do that. Yeah, I can do that. How much do I want? I don't want anything. I'm not trying to charge you for watching. Literally, it's anything that's on my fucking Ko-Fi or whatever it is. Yeah, it's in the links, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Click the fucking links. All right, I'll do that on Friday. Right, let's do at least one news story on this somewhat confusing stream. Oh, yeah, here's a good one. Has anybody actually listened to the song Blame Canada? I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I hadn't watched the South Park movie since I was a fucking kid. And I went to the bastard cinema with my mate, Snell, and we sat and watched it. But honestly, I watched it again today, and I think I'm going to play it for you because basically, if you haven't seen it, I put it up on Twitter because it is Canada's fault. It's all Canada's fault, what's going on with Trudeau. And if you haven't watched what's going on with Trudeau, maybe I can talk about it for a little bit. But fuck me, it is shocking. It's lunacy what's happening in Canada. I know Fox has covered it. So maybe I can dig something from them. There's a good story I could talk about. The Gigafactory now be created in Northumberland rather than Wales. But I'm going to play Blame Canada first because I think it's fucking class. Here it is. This was in response to Calvin from GB News, who said, which so-called democratic nation will be the first to condemn Trudeau's tyrannical actions? And obviously, I represent the free nation of Kyrgyzstan, and we wholeheartedly condemn the aggression and stupidity of Castro's bastard. Canada knew what they were getting, however, so we are changing our national anthem to Blame Canada for 2 weeks to show our support. And for those of you that haven't heard this, you'll fucking enjoy it a lot. Also, I can play it because I don't have any ad revenue and I'm not beholden to anybody, so I can't get a fucking copyright strike, can I? I don't get any money off fucking YouTube. So here, hopefully it works. It's Blame Canada. And I want hopefully my sound's working properly. Where is it? Oh no, I have to do it on YouTube, won't I? Let me just take the link here. There we are.
Fight the source of it. But
shout if you can't hear it.
Language from getting to our children's ears. We must go fight the source of it. But what is the source? Oh, that's easy. Times have changed. Our kids are getting worse. They won't obey their parents. They just want to fart and curse. Should we blame the government or blame society?
Or should we blame the images on TV?
No, blame Canada. Blame Canada. For their beady little eyes and flapping heads on all their lies. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. We need to form a full assault. Don't blame me for my son Stan. He saw the darn cartoon and now he's off to join the clan. And my boy Eric once had my picture on his shelf, but now when I see him, he tells me to fuck myself. Well, blame Canada. Blame Canada. It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada came along. Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
They're not even a real country anyway.
My son could have been a doctor or a lawyer, rich and true. Instead, he burned up like a piggy on a barbecue.
Should we blame the matches?
Should we blame the fire?
Or the doctors who allowed it to expire?
Heck no! Blame Canada! Blame Canada! With all the hockey hung on the low. And that bitch on Murray, too. Blame Canada! Shame on Canada! Oh, this is what we must have to trash. We must dash the left and fun must all be undone. We must prevent the cause of us before somebody thinks of blaming us.
See that last line? That last line's very, very pertinent, isn't it? They said, we must cause a fuss before somebody thinks of blaming us. And that is the modern walk, isn't it? It's like you're a shitty parent or you're a shitty person. You kick a cat. You fuck a 12-year-old. Whatever you do, you go, oh, it's because I'm black woman, gay, lesbian, dwarf, fucking Muslim. Isn't it? That's what they do. That is class. And that last line, we must cause a fuss, so before anybody thinks of blaming us, that's what they do. You booted a cat because I'm black in it, bruv. No, it's because you're a fucking cunt. It's because you're a cunt. You just hoofed a cat in the bollocks. It's not because you're black, because you're a fucking arsehole. And it is so painfully obvious to anybody with eyes, again, that you have to assume that the walk are either full-blown ideologues, which we know what we have to do with them, or shit for brains, which is it. There's only two. If you're an ideologue, fair enough. They just don't change the record. Every single thing you talk about, it goes back to that, which I've told you fuckers about loads of times. Normal people like us, you just go out and have a laugh. You live your life. You do your hobbies. You talk to your friends. You go play the footy. And then occasionally you'll talk about politics because it happens to be what the world you live in, affect the world you live in. But these left-wing ideologues, it is like all 24/7 on Twitter, everything. You'd be like, oh, did you watch the game? Oh, yeah, well, football, that's just the patriarchy. What? Oh, it's Easter soon. I hope I get an egg. Egg? Oh, yeah, well, eggs are actually representative of the deep-rooted systemic oppression of vegans and the capitalist systems. It's just fucking bollocks. Who shared that video with me about that mad fucking bitch talking at Cambridge about veganism? I think it was Ragnar, but basically, I covered that. I said to him, listen, I don't want to talk about it because she's so much of a fucking idiot. It's like low-hanging fruit. I really would feel guilty going on about it. So I'm going to avoid it, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about because this fucking maniac was just talking a fucking drivel, just pure waffle all the time about how animal rights is an extension of the patriarchy. Eating animals is an extension of the patriarchy. Eating chickens is rape. Having a burger's murder. Like really mad shit that, again, in the 80s was peddled by a minuscule amount of people and was constant parody. Oh, it was Kev Wright. But yeah, that is seriously, that That's a low hanging fruit. That I'm not even going to go on about it because it's just fucking mental. I'm sure you've all seen it. I can't bring myself to sit through it again because I feel like my IQ dropped by about 60 points just sitting there. It's fucking mad. Colonizing, yeah, colonized steaks. So let's just do this one quick. Yeah, raving fucking lunatic, Kenny, indeed. So let's just do this one. Mark Drakeford denies letting 7,000 job gigafactory project slip through his fingers. Of course, what do you think happened, right? I'll read you the story and I'll tell you why I think this is perfectly fair. And if Paz sees this, I apologise in advance, Paz, but you are Welsh. you have to hold your hands up. It's not your fault you were born Welsh, but you're fucking Welsh, right? Mark Drakeford denies letting 7,000 job gigafactory slip through his fingers. It follows an announcement that the UK government is supporting the car battery manufacturer Britishvolt in creating a factory in Northumberland. It'll be the first large-scale gigafactory in Britain, but until 2020, the company's preferred location was St Athan in the Vale of Glamorgan. The sort of project we should be trying to attract here in Wales. In the weekly First Minister's Questions, Conservative leader Andrew R.T. Davies asked Mark Drakeford about Britishvolt's decision not to go ahead in their preferred site. Mr. Davies said, "This is what we should be trying to attract to Wales. Britishvolt has secured financial backing to open its gigafactory in Northumberland." What went wrong, First Minister? Mark Drakeford said in the end they decided that their first investment would be elsewhere. It doesn't mean to say we've not had further conversations with them. Listen. Slimy, chinless communists, listen. You don't like capitalism and you don't like big-scale production companies setting up shop in Wales because you're a fucking woke cunt, right? Now, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that now the Northeast has finally got based, like, for example, Middlesbrough. It is not a small point of pride to me that Middlesbrough, which is shit for brains Labour for 40 years, now has an independent mayor that appears to have done more work in 5 minutes than his 3 predecessors did in fucking 50 years. We now have an independent mayor who's actually building shit. And we have Ben Houchen, the Tory, who doesn't seem to be woke. And he's got Teesside Airport cracking on. He's got that massive pharmaceutical base built in Darlow. It seems like the northeast of England is suddenly getting all these building projects when they've stopped voting for the fucking lefty arseholes. So I think, hear me out on this, right? This is just representative democracy. If Labour keeps insisting on voting for communists, is it not perfectly reasonable to suggest that not only should all of the big capitalist companies that have set up in Wales be offered financial incentives to move to England, they should also, this is the controversial bit, Scotland and Wales subscribe to the open borders, climate change bollocks that the English Conservative Party appear to be pushing our way, despite the fact they don't have a mandate to do so, because we didn't vote for woke, we voted for conservative. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to get all of the dinghy boys, all the dinghy divers, all the illegal immigrants, and the lion's share of the legal immigrants, and house them all in Scotland and Wales. Is that not fair? Well, we live in a representative democracy, right? Those in England voted for the Conservative Party. They might not be conservative because they're all singing off the same hymn sheet. But we voted conservative. And the clue's in the title. Conservatives are typically low migration, conserve what we have, minimum risk, employ our own working poor first. Communists are open borders, man. Don't manufacture anything that's going to fuck up the climate. So is it not fair for us to offer financial incentives to any large Welsh businesses, Scottish businesses, to come south or east of the border? And the Welsh and the Scottish should shut up and take all of our immigrants while we're at it. Not all of them. Some of them are hard working. The ones who do it legal, they can stay. But all the dinghy boys should be sent to Wales and Scotland. Right? Based Northern Ireland and based England keeps voting Conservative. So why? Why are we taking them? I think that's a fair argument. It's representative democracy. If the Welsh don't want to keep taking in immigrants and driving the business away, well, the Welsh know what to do. The Welsh should start voting for a party that espouses conservative ideals. But you've got no fucking leg to stand on if you're Scottish or Welsh. And again, Paz will see this and take umbrage. I'm sorry to conservative Welsh people, conservative Scottish people, but this is how we've decided democracy has to work. It has to just be a numbers game. And I'm aware that 30% of Scotland and 40% of Wales aren't communists, but if you lads can't get your shit together, it seems to me that it's not just fair, but it's in line with our representative democratic roots that it should be representative of the people that live there. So the Scotland under the SNP and Wales under the fucking Plaid Cymru Labour coalition of cunts should just take them all. Not only should they take them all, they should be volunteering to take them all. Right? Because that's what they espouse. Mark Drakeford and Nicola Sturgeon constantly talk about immigration. Oh, the vast tapestry of joy. Not only should you take them, you should be volunteering because you're living by your principles. You say constantly, oh, diversity is brilliant, rich and diverse tapestry. It's so good for Scotland. It's so good for Wales. You should be volunteering. This is a fantastic plan for the Tories to win back my trust. If you just said, right, you want them. You've said publicly you want them. Our voters in England don't want them. They've said publicly they don't want them. So what we'll do is, happy medium. Sturgeon says she wants them all. Drakeford said he wants them all. We'll send you all of our illegal immigrants and we'll financially incentivize all of your big and medium-sized businesses to come to England. Fair dues? And then we can see how good it goes for them. We can see whether Wales, in 10 years of this policy, whether Wales is wealthy, healthy and wise and England is a festering shit pit. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Is that not fair? And it's also tolerant and reasonable because I'm democratic, I'm following the will of the Scottish and Welsh people, and I'm not deporting anyone. We don't have to send the boys back to France or Morocco or Algeria or Pakistan or India or anywhere else they've come from, most of which aren't war zones. Perfectly reasonable. The Welsh will be happy, the Scottish will be happy, the English will be happy. Is this not a fantastic idea? Totally fair. It's what the SNP want. It's what Plaid Cymru want. It's what Welsh Labour want. And it's what the English Conservatives want. Yeah, winner. So I think that is a fucking fantastic idea and everyone should get behind it. And if Nicola Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford aren't behind it, they have to explain to me why their public position is different from the private position. Because they should be pro. They say we'll take as many. They say there should be no limits on immigration. It's only a good thing. There's no negatives. We don't need to do background checks. And those hairy-ass fucking 20-year-olds who definitely look like they're over 18 are definitely not fucking 12. So yeah, just let them all in anyway. Just let them all in anyway. What, hairy-ass fucking geezer with a big beard who says he's 13, so we stick him in a fucking in a high school full of little teenage girls. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're just giving them what they asked for, exactly. The democracy works, ladies and gentlemen. We're just giving them what they asked for. Nay, demanded. Right, I'm going to fuck off then. That's 47 minutes, 17 of which was spent in the ether. That's a fair half hour, isn't it? Like I said, I promise I'll do some drawing or dig out something for tomorrow. Here's a link to my fucking tip jar. Look at that. Derek's already stuck me one in. As you can see, Bootneck doesn't get much love because he doesn't do it for the money. But there's a link. Oh, no, it's not. That's managed. That's fucking useless. Where's mine? Your page. Here we are. Bootneck Booze. There we go. There's Bootneck Booze. Chip it on there. Or don't. I think directly you can get me PayPal or some shit. Who knows? I don't think about it too hard. But there it is. I'll do a draw on Friday and I'll do another live stream tomorrow. And hopefully I'll sort out my audio by then. All right? Thanks for watching. Blue Van Man, I will. I've definitely got one. I just have to do some admin. Cheers. Appreciate it. Right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah, cheers. See you in a bit. Take it easy.